Welcome everyone to Raceface TV. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. First, we're going to go out to our Raceface driver updates. Then we have Roush Fenway Racing Development driver Ty Majeski, who runs in the Super Late Models, ARCA, and Xfinity series, and is known as one of the top iRacers in the world. Well, it was an exciting weekend of racing with all three of NASCAR major series in full chase mode. So here's a quick recap of the playoff action starting Saturday night at New Hampshire Motor Speedway with Christopher Bell bringing home the win in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Then on Sunday, Kyle Busch secured his spot in round 2 with a win. While the Xfinity Series got their chase underway at Kentucky Speedway, where Canassie racer Tyler Reddick gets his first win. We also want to give a shout out to Raceface TV guest Kyle Benjamin, who captured his second pole of the year, making it 5 front row starts in 5 races. Kyle, we know it's just a matter of time before you bring home that first win. Now let's stay in Kentucky, where Sheldon Creed started off the weekend by winning his first ARCA career pole in the number 28 United Rentals MDM Motorsports Toyota. Creed dominated most of the race, leading 68 of the 100 laps before giving up the lead because of a lengthy pit stop due to a faulty jack. But again, Creed marched his way back to the front, but the cautions just kept coming. The restarts were crazy to say the least, and Sheldon ended up bringing home a third-place finish while battling with race winner Austin Terrio through turn 4 of the last lap. This weekend, Sheldon will be back in the K&N Series at Dover International Speedway. Let's take a trip out west where we find Raceface driver Ryan Vargas, who was racing on his birthday at Irwindale Speedway. This was the last race for that series at that historic track. Vargas dominated the entire race but came up a little short due to a late caution. Ryan was leading the race when the white flag was shown, but because of the rules of that series, all races in under green, he had to endure another restart where things got really crazy and ended up bringing home a 4th place finish and ended up the season in 4th place in the championship. Great job, Ryan. We look forward to big things from this young man in 2018. Now, staying out west, Raceface driver Adam Lemke was back at Madeira Speedway for his second start in the 5150 Energy Drink Junior Late Model Series on Saturday at Madeira Speedway in his number 98 Nate Clower Motorsports Late Model. Adam qualified 4th, then brought home another second-place finish and as many starts in the 75-lap main event. Up next for Adam, USAC HPD Midgets at Madeira Speedway on Saturday night. We now head back to the Midwest where we find Raceface driver Sam Mayer at Wisconsin Dells Raceway Park on Sunday in the Midwest Truck Series. The type of vehicle might have changed, but not the results, as this young 14-year-old brings home yet another checkered flag. This weekend, Sam will compete in the Super Late Models at New Smyrna Raceway in Florida. And Sam, I'm coming out to see you for that race. I can't wait. Let's go back out west where Raceface driver Jesse Love returned to Madeira Speedway Saturday night in the 5150 Energy Drink Junior Late Model Series with only one goal in mind, and that was to wrap up the championship. The Nate Clower team entered the night with a strategic race plan: stay out of trouble and finish in the top 5. And that's exactly what they did, and they clinched the 2017 championship. For Jesse, that's 2 championships down, including the Dirt USAC HPD Midget Championship, with 2 more on his radar, the USAC Pavement and the USAC Overall. So on this Saturday night, it's back to Madeira with the Midgets on the pavement, where Jesse currently leads the point standings there as well. What a year this young group of drivers are having. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with our special guest, Driver Ty Majeski. Hi, my name is Rod Wortham, founder and CEO of Raceface University. Finding a sponsorship is without a doubt the most difficult challenge a driver or their family faces in today's racing world. The first thing to recognize is that you're looking for a partner, not just a sponsor, and perhaps the most difficult thing is knowing how to begin looking for that right partner. You might think that winning on the track is your biggest hurdle. The reality is that the lack of funding is often your greatest obstacle. It takes a lot to finance your career at the lower levels until you reach the level where someone is going to hire you to drive their car. Keep in mind that a partnership can come from a variety of different industries, even some that would be considered outside of the racing industry, like a beverage company or a nutrition company. The question is, are you prepared when opportunity knocks? Have you established your own unique platform or brand? Will a potential partner know who you are and where you are going? Can you paint a vision of where you will be 2, maybe even 3 years down the road? Have you established the mindset and the speaking skills that will make you a desirable partner? Just like having your car and equipment at the top level of performance, you also need to be at the top of your game with the correct set of personal skills that will set you apart. At the end of the day, it's all about how you can help fulfill a need that that partner has and how you can help represent their brand and help them with their problems. Always remember, you are there to help them solve their problems as a partner. The partnership works both ways. You help them solve a problem that they have, and in return, they help you with your problem, which is funding. It must be a win-win for that partnership to work and last. So the question is, if a partner came to you today, are you prepared to open the door of opportunity? Welcome to Raceface Brand Development. You might be asking, what is Raceface Brand Development? We are all about helping young drivers get noticed while creating a brand. If your branding isn't part of your strategy and you're looking for a competitive advantage in the marketplace, I encourage you to reach out to us at Raceface Brand Development and let us provide you a free consultation on how we can help further your driver's career.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
I'm JDRF.
I am JDRF. I'm JDRF because...
I am JDRF.
Because... Type 1 diabetes is hard. I am JDRF because I advocate.
Because I am helping research progress.
Because I am part of a community of hope.
Because I believe we can find a cure.
I'm JDRF because I'm gonna beat this.
Type 1 diabetes won't hold me back.
We are JDRF.
We are JDRF because we do big things.
We are JDRF
because they're the ones at the front lines doing what we need.
Every morning when I wake up, I am JDRF.
I am JDRF because I want an artificial pancreas.
Because I am the mother of a type 1.
Because I am a fighter. Because I believe in them.
Because I want my kids to say they used to have diabetes.
Because I want to help others.
Because I believe we're all working together.
Because together we can build a community.
Helping to just raise awareness for type 1 diabetes.
I am JDRF because I want to see a world where type 1 becomes
type 9 diabetes. I am JDRF because I want a cure.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We're glad that that you're back with us. So we got a special guest with us today. We're going to go up to Wisconsin, to Seymour, Wisconsin, where we've got driver Ty Majeski. Ty, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, great. So, I mean, you know, I was doing some research on you, not that I had to. I mean, you just got to turn the TV channel on. You're kind of like everywhere right now. And the other thing I will tell you is it's like every time I watch a race you're in, you're running up front. So that's an awesome deal. But right now, I know that let's just talk about what you got going on in your ARCA career.
Yeah, right now, I guess I run the Midwest Tour, the ARCA Midwest Tour up here in the Midwest, and also the ARCA Racing Series this year. I've had the privilege to run 5 ARCA races for Cunningham Motorsports. Obviously, they have good equipment, and they've got me in a competitive race car, and Matt Weber and all the guys at Cunningham and also Schrader Racing have done a great job preparing these things, and we've been really competitive. We were pretty good at Pocono, Michigan, and the last 2 weeks we were at Chicagoland as well as Kentucky and showed really, really good speed. Felt like if the circumstances would have been a little bit different, we could have won both those races. So we worked on the car from those 2 races in June to the last 2 races, and it definitely showed speed-wise.
Now, are you going to be running in Kansas?
Yes, I will be in Kansas as well.
Okay, yeah, I thought I saw that. I know I watched both of those races, the ones that you were talking about, and it just seemed like, man, late race cautions just, you know, really kind of caught up with everybody. So, you know, sometimes you're praying for caution, and sometimes you're sitting in there. And I know you just got to be going, Lord, just don't let there be a yellow come out. But I know a couple of those late race cautions hurt you just a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's sometimes you're on the right side of the strategy, and sometimes you're on the wrong side, and that's just part of it. That's what makes those ARCA races so exciting. You know, with the tire strategy and live pit stops. So obviously, like I said, we had a better car than what the results showed, but like I said, that's part of it, and hopefully our luck will change coming a couple weeks at Kansas.
Well, the thing that you got to do, which I know you already know that, is you always just got to put yourself in a position to win. You put yourself in that position enough, and that victory's going to come. So you've got a driver development program with Roush Fenway. You want to tell us a little bit about how that came together? And
I guess the bottom line is just, you know, as a young kid, not having a checkbook to bring a check to them or anything like that. The only thing you can do is just go out there and win races. We've run a ton of races in the Midwest, traveled down south with our super late model program, won big races down there, sat on the pole at the Snowball Derby, have 2 consecutive podium finishes down at the Derby. You know, and eventually it gets to these car owners, it gets to these race teams when you continually put yourself in victory lane. So, you know, they saw that and gave me an opportunity. I had an opportunity to run 2 Xfinity races this year. We showed pretty good speed at those, and looking forward to what's to come next year.
yeah, well, that's pretty cool, because I was talking to Lauren Ranier about you the other day, and Lauren told me just point blank out, he says, I'm going to tell you what, he's one of the best late model drivers in the country. So that's a pretty good recommendation from a pretty good source there. So
yeah, for sure. Lauren's obviously got a lot of credibility in the sport, and he's been around a long time. So to have a guy like that say that is pretty special. So just a testament to what my team and I have been able to accomplish in the last 4 or 5 years or so. It's definitely special.
yeah, now let's go back just a bit to the ARCA Midwest Series. I think you were the champ there for what, 14, 15, and 16?
Yes, and we just recently locked up the championship here for 17 as well. So it'll be 4 consecutive with the Rookie in the Year in 2014. So like I said, it's been an amazing stretch the last 4 years. Pretty remarkable, and it's crazy to sit back and, you know, when we put the team together in 2014, I didn't think it would turn in to what it did. And, you know, of course you hope it turns out that way, but it was just unrealistic to think that at the time. And to look back now and look at all the races that we've won and what we've accomplished as a race team is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I think anytime you can go out, and it's hard enough to win 1 championship, but when you come back and you go 4 in a row, that's putting you up there with Jimmy Johnson and some of the other great names, because it doesn't really matter, in my opinion anyway, it doesn't matter what series you're running in. The series are always tough to win. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and I see a lot of that, you know, looking at a lot of things that are going on in your social media world and stuff that you're a real big proponent on on being dedicated, being in the shop, and just being very, very active about your racing career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime the driver knows what's going on with the race car and can better communicate that to his crew chief, is always going to make you better. That's the bottom line. There's a lot of guys, a lot of kids coming up through the ranks now that have a lot of talent. But I've tried to separate myself from them by being hands-on, by understanding the race car, trying to pursue my engineering degree at UW-Madison, just trying to understand the mechanics of what's going on. And anytime I can make that translation easier for my crew chief, will make us that much better.
You know, I see a common thing that's going on out there. I look at Ryan Newman with his engineering degree, and here you are getting, going after your engineering degree. That's got to be a blessing in disguise when it comes down to, especially working with the crew chief and trying to relate to the team as far as exactly what your car is doing. That's got to be a major plus. And I think as you continue to climb the ladder here, I personally think that's going to be a major asset for you in the future.
Yeah, for sure, and I've been able to take advantage of that already. I work real closely with a lot of the engineers at Roush Fenway, and it's definitely helped propel my opportunity there. So, but definitely going to continue that on, be in the shop as much as I can, and hopefully it'll pay dividends at the end.
Well, I think that will. So let me talk to you about some other things. I understand that you got an extensive background in go-kart racing, and the only reason I'm bringing that up is we got a lot of young go-kart racers that actually watch our program. So if you had to say something to them to give them, maybe some light at the end of the tunnel or some things that they could be doing to further their career, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing for me is I think there's two things that come to mind, and one is always be a student of the sport. No matter what you're going to the racetrack, if you're just watching, if you're racing, no matter what, there's always something to be learned. I don't care if you're Jimmy Johnson or who you are, you can always go to the racetrack and learn, and that's something I learned from Jimmy. He did a speech to us NASCAR drivers a few months ago, and that's one thing he said. He's still a student of the sport. He's still learning, and I guess the second one would be just surrounding yourself with good people. Don't ever act like you're an expert at whatever you're doing. There's probably always somebody out there that's gonna know better than you, and always surround yourself with those people, and it'll definitely help propel your career forward.
Yeah, I try to always relate to the young racers that are out there that it's a lot easier to get knocked off of that pedestal than it is to get on the pedestal.
Yeah, for sure, and that's something I always say as well. Right when you think you're the best, that's exactly when you're going to get beat, and that's something I've always lived my whole racing career by, and always working to get better, always trying to be faster. Even when we win the race, my crew chief and I will talk for 2 hours on the way home trying to figure out how we could have made our race car even better, even though we won the race. So I think that's something that's been a key part of my career.
Yeah, it's always about pushing forward. I know that you work with a lot of young drivers. I happen to know for a fact that you were, I think, at Anderson Speedway just a couple of weeks ago with one of our race face drivers, Sam Mayer, and Sam was just like, wow, it made all the difference in the world having somebody of your caliber there to be able to share with him that information. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, I always enjoy going to a new racetrack, a racetrack I've never been to, and I drove a late model stock car, and I've never driven one of those either. So it's cool to get down there and experience a different type of race car at a different track and help a young racer out. So it was a lot of fun, and it sounded like we made the car a little bit better for him too.
So again, doing some research, one of the things I did find out that I didn't know about you is that you were ranked as the #1 iRacing driver in the world. So how did you do that? That's got to be a lot of time in front of that simulator to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, for sure. I guess up in Wisconsin, our race season isn't as long as it is in the South, so I need some way to keep my skills sharp. So that was just one way to do it, and of course, I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun, something to do in my spare time, and it's been a huge part of propelling my racing career forward. They sponsor my super late model now for 3 years. They were on my Xfinity car for my debut in Iowa, so they've been a big part of my life, obviously as in real life racing and in the sim world. So they've been a big supporter of mine. It's definitely helped me as a race car driver on the racetrack. Just in the next few years, in the last couple years, I'm going to be at new racetracks that I've never seen before, and iRacing is a great way to get a little bit of seat time and try and get to know that racetrack before you actually show up there in real life. And it definitely helps shorten that learning curve, which has been crucial for me.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. So let me ask you, when you're out doing, personal appearances and you're doing like autograph sessions and that, do you have a lot of the young racers that come up that'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd like to challenge you? I'm not sure that you would.
I see a lot of iRacers, come through the autograph line. A lot of guys that that I know from iRacing, and you finally get to put a face to a name, I guess, which is pretty cool. So I know the iRacing community is a big supporter of mine, and it's pretty cool to carry their colors in my real life career as well.
Well, Ty, do you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors right now? I know we just talked about iRacing, but is there anybody else that you want to shout out to?
Yeah, like you said, iRacing is a big one. Just all my supporters at Roush Fenway, Briggs Cunningham, and everybody at Cunningham Motorsports for giving me the opportunity to run 5 races this year. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. Just all my team members, my crew chief, my late model program, Toby Noodleman, and everyone that's been a part of my career to this point. Really, really blessed to be in the position I'm in, and hopefully we can keep marching forward.
All right. Well, Ty, we really appreciate you being with us. We're going to look for you heading to Kansas in the ARCA race. I think your time is set to be able to pull into victory lane. Again, you've been competitive in everything I've watched. So again, I want to thank you for being with us. And so I just will ask one thing of you. If you win the race in Kansas, you'll come back and be on the show with us again.
All right, that's a deal.
Okay, Ty, thank you so much for being with us tonight. So everybody, there you had it. Ty Majeski, one of the top young racers in the country, definitely in the late model ARCA Xfinity Series. So again, we were really glad to have him on the show. So keep one thing in mind. Make sure you go out to Ty Majeski's Facebook page, like his page. Make sure you follow him. You're going to be hearing a lot from him in the future. And as always, as we end up our shows, we encourage you to go to Raceface University if you're looking for a way to be able to further your racing career and looking for ways to be able to be as competitive off the track as you are on the track. Then we encourage you to check out racefaceuniversity.com. We know you'll be glad that you did. And last but not least, we end up every show by simply saying one thing. Make sure to go out to your local community and support local racing right there in your own backyard. And everybody, have a great race weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.